to be back and another experiment. I am Coach Sandra, compassionate queen of straight talk, and my dear friend Wendy has agreed to come on. And Wendy, how is this feeling for you?
I feel like I'm in the midst of a scientific experiment.
I think my followers have, and you're always following my videos. And you've had the last few days where, oh, this old gal's trying to get on Instagram. Oh, this one. So, everyone, this is my first attempt at getting an interview style sharing going, and we're just going to have some fun today. And Wendy, can you just say your name and how we met?
Uh, my name's Wendy Williams. I'm an entrepreneur, and I met Sandra in Noble Goldman on a mastermind on Think and Grow Rich. And from there, we just became friends and shared in quite a few different masterminds along the way. And I also went to one of her Toastmasters.
Yes, you did. I've been in that Toastmasters business for 30 years now. People say, why do you still around here? Because I keep learning something new and I keep experimenting. It's a laboratory, just like this is for us today. But today's topic that we're talking about are the power of words and how words have energy. And we've even got a little ticker tape going here, words and their energy. Now, it was you, Wendy, who said that first comes the thought and then comes the word. What do you mean by that?
Well, thoughts have energy too, but they are not in the physical world yet. They're still in your mind. And your thoughts can have a positive energy and a negative energy depending on what's going on and how you're reacting to it. And that is where the words come out and why it's really important to choose your words wisely, or maybe pause and don't say anything at all because you might regret what comes out next.
This is true. How many times have I gone? And I know I like to go to extremes, but that is really basically what happens, but it often happens too late. After it's out and you see how you've either hurt somebody, shocked somebody, embarrassed somebody, you see the reflection on their face. And that reflection is because of what came out the mouth. Now,
Yes.
not only what came out the mouth, the tone and the expression as well. Have you had that experience?
Yes. It's interesting because we get a little haphazard with our familiars, the people who are around us all the time. And we have a tendency to kind of let it come out before we guard our words. But then I remember that there's trust there and understanding. And if you don't sometimes let it out with your familiars, they don't know you're hurting. So you have to let people know how you're feeling and why you may have said what you said, because that allows others to send healing words and allow you to feel better about yourself, and maybe even give you advice to how to, you know, heal what's ever going on. I try not to do that with my customers because that does not go well.
Yeah, customers might not know us as well. I've been 40 years with my customers. I mean, they haven't all been with me from the, well, some have been from the beginning. But they've gotten to know me and they're not too shocked when something comes out of the mouth. But I would try not to do that on the phone because then they can't see what's happening.
Yes.
You do really good customer service on the phone, don't you?
Yes.
What are you listening for when you're on the phone with your customers?
I'm really listening for their problems. What's their pain? What do they need me to fix for them? And if I can, I generally do. I do direct mail, that's the primary business. And a lot of times people don't know, hold on, cats. They don't know what their problem is. They don't even know where to go next, and they depend on me. And I soothe them. I give them ideas. I make them feel like they're safe. And that's through words. It's through kind words. It's through soft words, not too complicated. I try to speak not in my technical voice,
Mm.
but in my teacher voice. And that's how I convey to people how I can help them. Or sometimes they can help themselves.
It's really important too, I think. As you know, I'm rather direct. Thank goodness I learned to throw the compassionate in there, and it's a real compassion. But I really had to be sensitive. I had to become sensitive or educated, if you will, from watching faces or people saying, "Oh," literally that. "Oh, what? Oh, you didn't need the 2x4. Oh, did I use one of those?" But people with the courage to be honest with us is critical in our growth to learning the power of our words.
Yes. In the past, uh, I wasn't very good with people who worked with us. I would get frustrated because I didn't understand what they didn't understand, even after I taught it to them a few times. And sometimes I would be kind of short to a point where actually they called me a piranha.
That got your attention.
Yeah, but I was younger. I was still in my, late 20, I was like 29, 31, and I was still learning how to speak with people and teach people. And I think that was a good learning experience. It's not the case anymore. When somebody's having trouble, I go out with the utmost kindness. I know they're confused. I know they're not doing it on purpose. I re-show them again and I say, "What didn't you understand?" And then they have them repeat it back to me. And I'm finding much more consistency now, where once I teach something technical to somebody, and it is technical, that they actually have it. So it's an accumulation. And
Right.
that's how I've learned from that. And again, that's where that be careful with your words and how you say them.
Oh, that's most of it because people can be forgiving, but we can say the same word or the same sentence and be sarcastic. "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at you." Or I can say, "Oh, yeah. Look at you."
Exactly.
Same
And
words, tone, intention. Intention is huge. People do not understand. They don't stop and think about intention and how critical it is where we intend the sound to go. For voice projection, for instance, if you're in a large room, you can still speak to a very large room. And with intention, you will send your voice to that person in the farthest corner and they
right,
will get it. At the
without
same time,
yelling.
I can be speaking in pretty much the same voice, but in a little aside to somebody beside me. And because it's my intention to say something quietly off to them, the audience won't hear it.
Exactly.
And it is all, it's a game. It's a lovely game of words. I just wanted to get back to our notes here a little bit that are going out with this video. So words are powerful. When we say a word, there's a frequency, a vibration that goes out, just like the pebble in the water. You can see that when our words do the same thing. Electricity we can't see, we can only see the effects. Our voice sends out ripples and we can't see it, we can just see the effects. So it's the same way there. So when you say a word or a phrase, are you aware of what it feels like to yourself? Are you aware? I certainly am when I'm sarcastic. "Oh, yeah, look at you go." I can feel that in me. And I choose to send it out to you.
Yeah. I can get snappy.
You don't look like you could be snappy.
Because there's a level of frustration that I can get, especially when I'm tired
Mm,
and somebody says something to me and my normal response would be nothing, to maybe say nothing at all, or say, oh, okay, okay, and then go on to what I was doing without actually commenting on what they said, but just letting them know I heard them. Or when I'm a little tired or under the weather, I really do know I have the power, because I've been doing customer service and having a lot of communication, that I know when I say something that's not nice, it's really going to come out really good and not nice.
Well, I mean, and then we have to be responsible for it.
Yes.
I spent many years in the 12 step program with Al-Anon. And one of the really big things there, well, there were several wonderful gifts, but one of the big ones that I've never left behind is HALT. HALT. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Just go and look after yourself. If you're hungry, go and eat. If you're angry, go and take a little break. You don't need to respond right away. If you're lonely, call somebody. If you're tired, have a rest.
Yes. I've gotten to the habit lately, particularly since we are a family business. When people are coming in to me, I will put out like a warning. I'll say, guys, I'm a little overwhelmed. And then they know anything that I say is because of this reaction, has nothing to do with that. So if I sound frustrated, I'm
I
overwhelmed. I am. But I'm here to help you. It's going to come out the way it's going to come out. And so a little forewarning, especially with familiars or people
Mm.
that you really love, or you're in your care, and you could say, I'm having a hard day, so let's just try to get this done. They can then get ready to ease your pain, maybe.
And so often, people will say, like, I'm here for you all the time. Why would you flare up at me? You don't do it to strangers. You don't do it at work. But children will say it themselves. And as adults, we expect the same thing, but we don't know enough to say the same thing. I can blow up at you because I'm in my safe space. And that, if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired yourself and not understanding that, and that's not in the environmental system,
Mm-hmm.
then it can really hurt because, I can think of my kids while they were growing up, teenagers screaming at you. Like, it's just what they do, and they know they're in a safe place. Of course, they're not going to do it. So familiars are a whole other bag of tricks, aren't they? But,
Yes.
I'm going to just talk about making some game out of this as well.
Okay.
A little challenge for the audience. We're going to just think of some words. So you and your audience write down some of your favorite words. Doesn't matter whether they're nice or not so nice. Just what are the words? And we've made a little bit of a list, and it's in the write up here. And just think about the word by itself, feel it, and how do you feel with that? How does it sound to you? Let's play with that. So the first word is sunshine. What does that do to you when I say sunshine?
I think of a greeting. Hello, sunshine. You've made my day by being here. So
But
I think,
it's feeling good, isn't it?
yes,
You
yes.
want to you try a word.
One of these words?
Well, you can come up with one of your own as well. That's
Oh, you know what word I like? You have grumble, but you know the word that came to me recently? Rumble.
rumble.
Yeah, the universe sent it to me. It's time to rumble.
Okay. Well, when you put it in the context, now when you just say rumble, you can
Hmm.
immediately thinking of a motorcycle gang, which is what it's about. You rev up those motorcycles, that's rumble.
Hmm.
But we can have the negative. But as soon as you put the smile on your face and say, hey, let's rumble, it gave me a smile. And it was only because of the different way that you delivered it.
Yes.
Where without that, if you had said rumble, we might have thought danger.
Yes. Argument.
Arguments. Yeah. So really it is. I mean, you could even say that to your familiars.
Yeah.
Pay attention because we're going to rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be, we're going to clear the air.
Yeah. And actually, in a way, that's a soft way to say it,
It is.
because you're not saying the fight word. You're saying, look, guys, we're going to have to rumble. Let's get down and have a rumble together. And then there's like a little safeness in that, as a safety net, because they
Yes.
know it's a conversation of seriousness, but it's
And
not an
still
argument.
go in with a lightness that's not going to be. But I go to prison with the guys, and I think with the Toastmasters and the alternatives to violence, it's so much about learning. However they earned their way in there is what I say. We didn't earn our way. We say, well, whatever you did to get here, you're here, and I'm leaving. So whatever, they changed their lives within 10 seconds to a minute, 10 minutes maybe. But they never had a chance to learn something other than this, for the mouth going this way.
Yes.
Instead of, and many times, not all the times, because there's some professionals in there as well, some very professional people that didn't watch what they were doing, like, stop it.
Yes.
But many, many, many of them had no other training than what they were raised into, which was fifths and mouth. And for them to be able to learn to stop and look around and listen, and even more so, be able to stand up and say their name and say a thought and share, and people are listening. There's such dignity, and we feel it ourselves. We know when we're heard, we know when we're listened to, and we know when we're not. And that's all an intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Crickets. I like crickets. 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 Does it sound like crickets?
Yeah. Crickets. Crickets sound like crickets. Yeah. When I gotta tell you, when I think of crickets, I think of tarantulas, because I have to.
You have two. You have two tarantulas.
Well, not by choice, but I do have two tarantulas. I had one, and I got it the normal way through children. And then I did so well with it, I ended up with the other child's tarantula. But
So playing with words, you might find that when you're at work there, I'm pretty much by myself, but you'll have some fun here just coming up with some words to play with while you're working. I bet your employees would even enjoy it, and your familiars
oh yeah,
playing around with words. There's
yes,
thunder.
thunder.
Thunder. What's that one rock and roll song? Thunder. We used to play it when we DJ'd.
You mean the recent one with Imagine Dragons?
No, I don't. I don't know too much that's recent.
Well, when you say thunder, I what's really great is that song is called Thunder. It's like feel the thunder, and then it's like boom, 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 like and then he was like the lightning before the thunder. So, so I feel like when I hear the word thunder, I think of the outcome of your actions. That's when I think about my thunder. What was my thunder today?
Oh, oh. I think of thunder, I think of rainstorm, and then I think of rainstorm. And if we didn't have the thunder and lightning, we were able to go out and jump in the puddles.
Yes. Yes.
But the thunder, that had some, okay, we're going to have to stay in and stay away from the windows and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, that could go bad.
Yes, so they used to keep us away from the windows. Anyhow, it's just amazing. I'm going to kind of wind towards the end here. Just, I think the message today is just to consider the words that are coming out of our mouths. Enjoy them, because if we're enjoying the words, we're not going to have those ugly, angry words coming out. And every day can be play day if we want to think about words as a game. And you can be mean or you can be kind. Which way do you like to live your life, Wendy?
I love living in kindness and love, as you know. And lucky that I'm married to a great guy who sees that when I am having issues, he hears my words. He lets me, instead of crying, I might just spout out a few words that might not be comfortable, where we can then come back together in a positive way and use positive words to find solutions to what brought up the healing.
Wow.
We find healing words.
That's beautiful, isn't it? Words do have energy.
Yeah.
They really do. And here we thought when the word came out, that was it, but it doesn't. The thought starts first. We have that instant reaction, that instant thought, it's there. And then we have to check our brain before we let our mouth go into action, because it's much easier to keep it, not say it, than it is to clean it up afterwards.
We could use your thunder word because the further away the lightning, the softer the thunder.
Oh,
The longer you pause on a strong thought, the softer the words.
beautiful, beautiful. There was something else I was thinking of in fine fashion. It just went right on out the door. I can get to laugh about it or I can cry about it. But I know what it was, because quite often we'll have that thought. We might be in anger, we might be in resentment, and we can shut our mouth and swallow it. But be cautious. That's not how you release it. You have to actually physically go up, reframe it, and soften with meaning. With meaning. In other words, you have to work your way through it. The best way I learned was, I'll have that reaction. We can't not have the reaction, but I'll choose how to deal with it in the morning.
Yes.
So that means I'm going to sleep on, I'll be working through, and I'll know how I want to make amends or make things right or air it out. And if it's still important in the morning, then I will decide what to do. But it won't be in the rash, and it won't be from shoving it down.
Yes.
Because when we shove it down long enough, shove our anger down long enough, it becomes shame, and shame is really hard to heal later.
Yeah, and you shove enough words down, finally they just have to come out anyway.
Yeah.
And they're not coming out of the mind.
That's often where the crimes come from. Domestic abuse, any abuse.
Yeah.
People explode. So, boy, how do we go to that one from? Keep our words kind.
You know why? Because it's all connected. And if you could just start with the thoughts, observe them, and speak as kindly as possible, you can avoid all the other stuff.
And that is when we do our breathing or just our sitting calmly. The thought comes, you just ping it out, ping it out, ping it out, because they're going to come in. We have thousands and thousands of thoughts every day. We have many every minute, and they just, so we have to just let them ping off and not grasp onto them. That way we'll have fewer messes to mess up.
Yes.
To clean up, I should say. Anyhow, Wendy, I really want to thank you for coming on for this experiment. And hopefully this will be the beginning of weekly videos for me, or maybe twice a week, and getting people in. So it'll be a surprise to see who I have on.
I can't wait.
And I think I just have to do the end stream here. So thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being such a wonderful guest. And for everyone out there, watch your words, watch your thought. Energy, words, and energy are all right there. Blessings for the day.